Okay, moving on, number 19. CSu-Pueblo recently mailed out an advising survey to all currently enrolled students. The response rate was 22%. What cautions, if any, would you give to someone using the survey results? So it's an advising survey, had a 22% response rate. That meant that only 22 out of 100 surveys were returned. So having that small a number of surveys be returned means we're not very sure that that represents the whole group of CSu-Pueblo students. When a small number of people respond to a survey, generally they have strong opinions, and oftentimes they have strong negative opinions. So only having 1/5 of the students reply to the survey would indicate maybe that a lot of the students with negative opinions might be in that survey, and the students with not really very negative opinions might not be in the survey, so it might overestimate the lack of satisfaction with advising. Number 20. Here are human blood types. All of them can be classified as O, A, AB, or AB. O, A. So those are the 4 different possible basic blood types for humans. In the United Kingdom, here are the probabilities that we recorded. Half of the people, so you have 50% chance of choosing someone with type O, because half the people have type O, 15% have type B, and 5% have type AB. So we chose a person at random. What would be the chance they were type A? So what happens there is those fractions that represent the fraction of the population also represent the probability of selecting a person with that characteristic. So 50% chance, 15% chance, 5% chance. These probabilities then are probabilities of the things that could happen. They have to sum to 1. So for them to sum to 1, there's 50, there's 20, that's 70. So 70 plus 30 is 100, so we'll say 0.3, 30%, 0.3. We'll say since 0.5 plus 0.3 plus 0.15 plus 0.05 equals 1. The sum has to be 1. Okay. So 8, 95, 100. Yes. What is the probability of a blood type other than O? So that'll be 1 minus the probability the type is O. So that's 1 minus 0.5, which is 0.5. Okay. So when you're talking about the probability of something other than a thing happening, then the probability is 1 minus the probability that thing happens. We're on to 21. 21 says, in an online poll, 87% of respondents were in favor of legalization of marijuana. Random samples taken at the same time showed only about 55% in favor of legalizing marijuana. Which number is more reliable and why? Well, we know sampling, which has voluntary response, doesn't usually adequately represent the population. It usually picks people with strong opinions, either positive or negative. You would think if you asked people whether they're in favor of legalizing marijuana that you'd have a lot of people calling in and saying, no, I'm not in favor. But here we found a lot of people calling in and saying, yes, I am in favor, so maybe the really strong opinions are among people who are in favor of legalizing marijuana, and the people who aren't in favor don't really have strong opinions. That's not usually what happens with voluntary response, but here it could be. Random sampling is a lot more reliable because you're choosing people at random, and you get to make the choice. They're not deciding whether to give you information, you're deciding whether to ask them for information. So random sampling is always more reliable than voluntary response sampling. In addition, that's an online poll, and online polls are only accessed by people who spend time online. And so maybe that's responsible for the higher percentage of people in favor of legalizing marijuana than just people in general. 23, we're on to 23. Sketch and find the proportions in a standard normal distribution. So Z represents the standard normal distribution, which means it has this density curve over here, and the values on the horizontal axis represent Z values, which are actually standard deviations. So we're looking at minus 2.61, so we're thinking it's down here. Minus 2.5 and a bit. So we've got those positions marked in the distribution, 2.61, 2.61, 2.61, and we have 3 questions. where proportion is less than or equal to minus 2.61, we'll put it here, minus 2.61. So that would be that area. That area is listed in the table. So the table lists the proportions less than, and less than or equal to less than are the same number. So 0045 is the proportion less than minus 2.61. It's also a proportion less than or equal to minus 2.61 because it's just the area here, and the area of this line is 0. If you want greater than minus 2.61, then since the total is 1, you can subtract the 0045 from 1 to get 9945? 9955, I guess, so 9955, like that. And then if we want equal to, the proportion that equal to the proportion that reside right on this vertical line, in theory a line has no width, so there's no area associated with that line. And now we want to find the proportion between these two z-values. I have them indicated here. 1.81 would be close to 2 on this side. And what we would do is we find the proportion less than 1.82, which we found out to be, from the tables, 9656. So that would be from here back all the way like that, 9656. And we subtract off how much is at minus 2.61 and back, which was 0045. And we do that and we get 0.9611. Okay. So that took care of 4 more problems. We're moving right along here. On to my next slide any minute. Here we go.